everyone, my name is Chapple, and today we're talking about Tesla stock, and more specifically, why it's like the weirdest one I've ever seen in my 10 years of tracking stocks in the stock market. So let me take you back a little bit here. We're going to take you back to 2015, and I had the opportunity, and I had a choice between either going with Tesla or going with a nice dividend bank stock, both of which did well. Bank stock did well. However, Tesla was trading at about $150 at that time. This was 2 years ago. And now, I don't know if you've checked recently, it's at about $350. It might be $347 today. I think it went down today. It's about $340. And so if you had invested in Tesla in 2015, you would have more than doubled your money, right? But who knows? It was a tech company. It was pretty high risk a few years ago. And I didn't invest in it. I had the opportunity. I still did well. I put my money in some safe stocks and they still went up, but I didn't get that 200% or 150% return like a lot of people did who invested in 2015. So we're going to talk about why this is actually the weirdest stock, okay? So let me break it down for you. So this stock Tesla had gone up 70% this year alone, okay? We're talking in, what, 6 months? In 6 months, this stock had gone up 60%. Okay, that's not weird. Tech stocks go up like that all the time. That's fine. Now, here's the weird part. Usually what happens is, okay, I'll break this down for a lot of you who don't really know too much about what happens when earnings reports come out. And so usually what happens is there's these earning reports. They come out every single quarter. And so usually there's a projected earnings report, okay? So for Tesla, they expected a Q1 loss of 88 cents per share. So they expected a loss of 88 cents for every share they had. So that's a loss of what, hundreds of millions of dollars, maybe billions of dollars in a quarter. Probably about $200 million, that'd be my guess. So that was their expected loss for the Q1. Now what happened was that they actually had a loss of roughly, I think it was $1.33 loss per share. So usually what would happen is if they have a much greater loss than expected, the stock would go down. What do you think happened? That's right, the stock went up 20%. 20% after that earnings report came out. Man, people are just so bullish on Tesla. So the company had a bigger loss, and usually what happens if a company has a loss, for the most part, is the stock does go down or stay at the same, or maybe it goes up a percentage point or two if it's like an Amazon. That used to happen for years. But it's went up more than anything I'd ever seen. And I was so confused when I saw that. This was, what, a few weeks ago when this all came out, when the earnings report came out. And it's defying normal conventions of the stock market. I don't know if that's the right word or not. I've been using that word a lot lately. But so here's some other things too. Is that they doubled revenue this year. They doubled revenue. However, they had more losses, or roughly the same losses. Meaning that their expenses went way up, even though they doubled revenue. And so I understand, by the way, I know I'm ripping on Tesla. I understand why the stock is going up. I'm going to get to that. However, if you were to just look at it from a numbers perspective, this is bad. This is really, really bad. And the stock is going up, like we're talking billions of dollars a year. The company value is going up. It's absolutely ridiculous. And so let's see here. There's one more thing I wanted to talk about here. So Tesla has a revenue of about $2.7 billion per year, I think. I think it was $2.7 billion. And they have $4 billion in cash, like on hand, that they have in the bank or to use for expenses. And they have $8 billion in long-term debt. Okay? And so this company is heavily in debt, $8 billion in debt, only making $2.7 billion per year. And the stock value is going way up. And they're taking out more debt every single quarter, every year, every quarter. So if you were to look at this company, not know the name, not know Elon Musk, not know what they were selling, not know what products they were selling, you would say that this is a bad company that's going to go in the toilet. But because it's Tesla, we do know why this is. So what they're doing is they're expanding. That debt is going towards expansion of the company as a whole. So that is why everyone's so bullish on them. Why the stock value is going up is because they're using that money to increase revenue, and then eventually down the line they will cut expenses somehow, or increase revenue to the point where their expenses don't matter. That's the point. They're looking to become, they're doing the Amazon approach. Amazon, I talked about this, they didn't make a profit for decades, essentially. And then in the past 2 years, or the past quarter specifically, they'd had giant profits, $5 per share. So I think that Tesla's going to take that approach. Just take out a bunch of debt, expand as fast as possible, and hopefully it'll pay off in the long run. That's what they're doing. And so there's a few other things too, is that Tesla, their Model 3 comes out. So Tesla's been selling cars that are above $70,000. That's all of their models. They're selling, I think that's $70,000 and $200,000, I want to say, for another one, or $150,000. And so in July, I believe, they're coming out with their Model 3, which is their $30,000 to $35,000 car. It's their car for everyone. It's supposed to be their big hit that most people can drive, that the average consumer can afford. And so everyone's kind of waiting for what happens to that. How much will it sell? How many cars can they produce? Elon Musk stated that they're going to make roughly 5,000 cars a month this year, I think. 5,000 cars a week, I think. I think it was a week. And then hopefully 10,000 cars by next year a week. I think it was per week. It might be less, might be more. I'm not quite sure. So that's why Tesla's a weird stock, is because they are having bigger losses than expected, but everyone's more bullish on them now more than ever. It also makes me worry a little bit about tech as a whole, because when we're seeing tech companies take losses, not just Tesla, but other stocks too, take losses and the value is going up. And this is, I was talking about this with my dad. If this company existed, before the tech bubble of '99, we're saying if this stock were to have existed in 1989, it's failing. And it's going to go to zero. The company's going to fail. No one's investing in it. But because we're in this age where all this tech is hot and all this debt is really cheap, everyone's betting on it. And that's why Tesla's a weird stock. So would I recommend investing in Tesla right now? I would say if you're a beginner, stay away from tech right now. I wouldn't. However, see, we're in a weird time. Tesla's about to release their car. They're for the average consumer about 35 grand for the middle class person. However, we're walking into a correction right now where I think that the average person is going to get hit, and we're in this I don't know if this will fit here. So we're in this really weird time too now where the average consumer debt is at an all-time high right now. Credit card debt's at a high, household debt's at a high, auto loans are at a high, all debt is at a high, student loans. And if this recession were to come, if the correction were to come in the next year or two, and if it were to come in the next year, within the next 8 months, which it could, I don't know if it will in the next 8 months, but in the next year and a half it probably should. If that were to happen, no one's going to be able to afford to buy the Tesla car. And because Tesla has all this debt, they're relying on this Model 3 having a good year, having a good 2 years to actually pump out and make that profit. So that's what's worrisome. I think this could be really bad timing for Tesla as a company. I could be very wrong. I mean, if we don't have the correction, if we don't have a recession coming, they're going to be a great company in the long run. But it's just weird timing because this is Tesla's their big push that they've had into the average consumer, yet the average consumer might not be able to afford the car. So you're seeing why I'm a little hesitant to invest in them right now. Saying that, I mean, they've gone up 70% this year. What do I know, right? And I think that they did drop like 3% today, though. Just today, all the tech stocks got completely hit today. They went all in the pooper. So I think that's going to kind of wrap this video up. So why is Tesla the weirdest stock? They're taking giant losses. Stock's going up. They're taking more losses than expected. Stock's still going up. They're in a bunch of debt. Stock's still going up. And they're just defying normal, traditional value investing. They're not a value investor wouldn't invest in them right now. But You know, there's a lot of hype around Tesla. Now, I guess I should kind of wrap this up actually about how I love Tesla as a company. I hope that they succeed and they become a 100 or 200 or 300 billion dollar company. They own Solar City as well, so they're a clean energy company for the most part, and I hope that they do well. I do, and I'm going to bet that they will do well in the future. I mean, I bet that they will be a good company in 5 years or 10 years. They will still be growing. However, they might have a really bad year coming up. That's my opinion on them. So I think that's going to wrap this video. I'd like to thank you very much for watching. You're all very beautiful people. And you know what? What do you guys think about Tesla right now? This is just my opinion. You can differ. That's completely fine by me. What would you think about them right now? Do you agree with all this? I mean, these are facts. So, but do you agree with my opinion about how they could be walking into a bad time for them to actually sell their consumer car? Or it could be a good time. You know what? Consumer confidence is at a 10-year high right now, and small business ownership is at a 10-year high right now, and that's usually a bad sign. Unemployment's at an all-time low, or at a century low. In the 21st century, unemployment's never been this low, but that's a warped number actually, because actually about half of the adult population actually doesn't work, and they don't even show up in the statistics. That's a whole. That bothers me about the unemployment rate, is that half of Americans actually just don't really work full time. Yet that doesn't show up in the unemployment rate. Okay, we got to stop talking here. This video's gone on too long. Thank you very much for watching. You're all very beautiful people. I'll see you guys in the next video.